Nice. Dana just broke the mic, Bill.
I think is he supposed to loosen the wheel a little bit first before he adjusts it down, or is it supposed to click like that all hard?
I didn't hear what happened.
No, I could have probably loosened.
Is it supposed to be plastic on the floor
Don't
from
mess
breaking
with
the
it,
mic?
How much do I owe you guys?
You don't need to force anything. If you're forcing something, you're breaking it.
Gotcha.
So just listen.
Daniel,
But I think you got it now.
The
Yeah,
mic.
it should be good now.
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Oh. Welcome to Punchie TV.
Welcome to Punchie TV with your hosts.
Welcome to Punchie TV. I am Punchie with your host, Punchie, from JesseLeePeterson.com show. Oh, Joel Friday, the host of the... What am I saying about you? The American Anchor Baby. The host of the American Anchor Baby show. James Hake, a host of the Hake Report. Welcome to Punchie TV. Punchie.
We have another special guest. Who could it be? We have the one and only producer of The Fallen State, Mr. Daniel. What's your last name? Do you want it on air or no? Or just Daniel?
Yeah, just Daniel.
Just Daniel from The Fallen State. Daniel's been a producer of Fallen State. He's been with Bomb for a long time. And he is on the show with us today. Thank you, Daniel, for coming on Punchie TV.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Nice.
Yo.
We'll put it in
First and last name and picture online. Come on. Let's go.
Oh,
Alpha mode. No, I'm joking.
Home address
That's a
and-
joke. Don't.
Social Security,
card.
can I touch on that?
ID.
Because I'm technically Daniel the third.
Cut that out.
I'm named
Bleep
after
that
my
out.
dad and my grandpa.
Me too. I'm the third too.
Nice.
Dang.
But it's also one of the most common names in the world, Daniel.
True.
So I'm trying to make a name for myself.
Well, it's actually it'd be harder for people to find you
It's
specifically,
hard.
right?
It's impossible. I'm like,
Nice.
it's like I don't exist.
Sebastian, Daniel, and Nicholas, I heard, were the most common names when we were growing up for Colombians.
Okay.
Whoa.
For
what I heard.
Colombians,
Yeah. Sebastian. How many Sebastians do you know?
Sebastian.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
that's super.
Exactly.
Is there? This is probably like a stupid question, but is there any similarities that you guys notice with both being Colombian that you're like, oh hey?
Oh, yeah.
Light skin.
Just
Like
stuff that
what?
we grew up with. And
Beautiful
A
Spanish.
lot, actually a lot,
a whole
dude.
bunch.
Yeah.
I feel like Nick is my cousin.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. My second last name is
Oh
There you go,
really?
see?
Daniel.
So
But
You know, that
Gonzalez
means like a warlord.
really?
Yeah.
whatever that means. but-
Conquistadors.
But no, yeah,
So
me
you
and
guys
Nick
are the
are,
oppressor type
Oh.
Colombians.
no. I was gonna say that me and Nick we have a lot in common. I've noticed.
Could you guys say that one thing that you guys noticed?
Like music,
Oh, nice,
like
Our algorithms.
yeah, the algorithms match up.
nice. I asked that because with like when I see another black person, it's not always like that. But sometimes I'll come across like one or two, and I'm like, oh,
okay.
if they're from like New Orleans,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not from there, but even though and it's still United States, but there's just something about like Louisiana people from the South
yeah.
that kind of, I don't know, makes sense a little bit.
Yeah, totally. I
But-
could see that because of the Creole and all that stuff.
Yeah, that type of thing. So I
Once
wonder-
you get that granular, you're gonna find countless similarities. Colombian is just too specific not to
But
share some
Yeah.
stuff there, and it's something that speaks to how culture follows people and follow. You know, that's why
Yeah.
they hate. Not to get it. Now I'm about to open up a can of worms. That's why they hate white people, man. It's because they represent the culture of America and da da da.
Wait, no, but
And
then,
that's why
then-
we hate them, right? This is why we hate the foreigners. Okay,
Which
sorry.
ones? The
Sorry.
foreigners?
me and Nick and I
Just
Nick and I also got to bond almost at the exact same like
Oh, really?
time.
I don't
Oh,
remember
that's true,
that
that's true.
actually. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I
now.
think it's just that Daniel was a full-blown producer and he was just a little intern.
He was intern.
Yeah.
Nick was
with
intern?
a
Yeah.
with a tray of
For the Fallen
cannolis,
State.
a tray of cannolis and a dream.
What are
So-
cannolis anyway?
I don't know, but did you have
Nice.
any?
Yeah.
Something Italian.
Yeah,
Mm.
I brought a bunch. You remember?
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I was like, what is the? So music is the main thing. Is there a second one to give the audience?
there's-
What's the second one that you guys can think of?
Chicks.
I can't think of it. I can't think of it, but a whole bunch. Like I'll just say random things my family has said, and it feels like they have said. It feels like our family speaks the exact same way. Sometimes.
Interesting. Is there in Colombia? Do the people have like a certain type of low tolerance for certain things? Because I know Nick sometimes has low tolerance, but not in a bad way. It's but Daniel has a low tolerance, and
what?
I know black people have that too. There's just like I don't know how to explain it. Is
Low
that like
tolerance
common?
for bogus
Yeah,
speech.
like just like for silly stuff.
Yeah.
Is that like a Colombian thing?
I don't know what you mean.
Right.
No, I think
I don't
Daniel's
know.
unique to Nick on that. Because, well, I don't know, maybe.
I'm full
I
of
think-
BS. What are you talking about?
Sometimes I
Speak
feel
freely.
like
Speak freely.
there's like sometimes where it's like there's a no tolerance thing with Nick
Oh, okay.
for sure. Like there's like a certain place that not a certain you're not
Yeah.
rude, but there's a certain place like I noticed that like I don't know how to explain it. Like there's just like a
Oh, yeah.
but because a lot of Colombian women though like tend to be mean. So I'm like maybe just on with the men it's just not a mean thing, but just like a tougher thing that I noticed in Nick and Daniel. But
Oh,
maybe
yeah?
it's a coincidence.
I don't know, Joel.
Not that one.
No, I don't know.
Is it like
I think you might be right on that, though.
Yeah,
I feel
something
like I
about
kind
it.
of know. what
is it
you're
like a
getting at.
smell blind kind of thing? You can't smell your own smell? What do
Maybe
you guys
so.
mean?
Maybe so. Because I'm wondering, and you guys could. Everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy. But
No.
I thought I said,
It sounds like you're onto something. What do I have a low tolerance
How many
for?
Colombian women do you know?
like two.
That's enough.
But
That's a lot.
I've heard from people saying like, "Oh, Colombians are crazy. Colombian women are crazy."
Yeah.
And I knew a couple, and not that they're crazy, but they have like a I don't know what to call it. It's like a toughness, but obviously women can take it a little bit out of control.
Yeah.
But they're just like I don't know how to explain
You're
it.
just annoying. What do you mean?
It's annoying.
It's just annoying,
I'm
like-
kind of ghetto, dude. Like if anything, because I grew up in Miami, Florida. Like I was born in Colombia, but I got here when I was 2 years old. So I'm more American than anything.
Yeah.
And if I'm tough, it's more because I'm not ghetto, but
Yeah.
I grew up like in a. I'm not gonna say it's the ghetto, but out of all my friends, I was always like the poorest one growing up.
Oh, okay.
So maybe that's what you see, like that
Huh.
that ghetto that comes out from time to time.
Here and there.
Los ñeros.
Interesting. I don't know.
Le salió los ñeros.
I just learned after these guys came that Colombia is not with a U.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that'll trigger
Maybe
Colombians.
because of Esteban.
What do you mean?
It's not spelled with a U.
Oh, it's the O.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Colol.
It's after Columbus, it's named after Columbus.
Oh, really? But
Yeah,
we
yeah.
spell
Oh,
Columbus with a U, I think. Yeah, but in America.
Right, it's Colombo. It's Cristobal Colon. Cristobal Colon. His real name is Cristobal Colon.
Oh, yeah, Cristobal.
Right. So.
But we pronounce it differently.
Right,
Okay, nice.
Anglicanized. What
Anglicized.
Anglicized.
But I have a quick question about that. So, how's the connection? What is the connection there? Columbus and
So he discovered America.
Columbus,
And
Colombia.
he landed in like Hispaniola, he was sponsored by Spain. He was sponsored by the Queen of Spain. So like all this, when he discovered America, it was like he landed in the Caribbean first,
mm-hmm.
and then but then Spain and Portugal split South America, they just Brazil, like what's Brazil used to be Portugal, and what's Latin America is now used to be Spanish. So I guess they didn't go. They got to Florida. They made it to Florida, but I guess they didn't go past Florida.
So how's the connection with Colombia? Where's the connection with Colombia?
So Colombia used to be called the Gran Colombia, and it was Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador. So it was like this bigger nation, and it used to run South America. It used to run South America. So it's like a homage to who discovered America.
Oh, okay.
But Columbus is been known as a reference to the New World across many languages. The French, the Italians, they all use that word Columbus, Colombia, whatever, as just a reference to the New World.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Colombia was part of that in some kind of way?
It used to be like
One of the first nations
Right.
on this side.
Okay.
one of the big
and,
nations.
and
The
he
New World.
discovered it.
He landed like in the Caribbean somewhere, and then they just declared it Spanish land. Everything like some latitude
Yeah.
this way was Spanish, and then latitude that way was Portuguese.
I
And the
see.
Pope did that. The Pope split it for them.
Wow, cool.
So that's kind of that.
Nice.
They was Kangs.
So is it true the
It
Spanish
is.
were down with race mixing and the European and the English were not?
Yeah. Yeah, the Spanish definitely mixed like crazy
Shameless.
with the
Shamelessly
with the
moving.
American Indians.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
What
you
were you guys-
cancel
what were
those
they-
words.
What were the Indians called south of the border?
Huh?
Were they called American Indians too?
Indios.
Indios? I don't know.
But it's funny because so there was this conquistador.
Sorry, Joel, we're taking away from your
There's
topic.
this conquistador that he like conquered the Aztecs, and then he married like he was like nobles. He was like a noble
Dang.
in Spain, and he married one of these Aztecs, and now there's like a house in Spain that's like a mix of like Indian.
Oh, interesting.
It's like a noble house in Spain. You guys might want to look it up, but
You were telling me.
Montezuma.
day. Right.
Oh, Montezuma. Montezuma's revenge.
Yeah, he married like his daughter married into like Spanish royalty, and now there's a house in Spain that's like connected to the Indians, the Aztecs. So they took race mixing real serious.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this has been happening.
It's been happening.
Wow.
But yeah, like to me, the United States figured something out that South America and Central America didn't figure out. Like Mexico got something wrong that the United States got something right, and it might be race mixing
Oh.
because they were less prone to race mixing in America than.
Yeah.
They're more pure.
I'm
pure
boring you
blood.
guys, dude. I'm boring you guys.
No. This
Is
is up
my-
my alley.
My
But I'm
mind-
telling you to cancel those words because, or else you wouldn't exist, Daniel.
That's fine. That's fine.
No, I'm not-
That's fine.
That's fine. If things have to
The
be
truth
the
is
right
the
way,
truth.
I'm out of
Yeah.
here.
North is north. North is north. I like it.
Yeah, hella mixed, dude. I'm super mixed. It's like I don't even
Really?
know what I am. I don't even know what I am.
Oh.
You're Spaniard, man. You're Spaniard.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
But I guess
With a little bit of what is that Mel Gibson movie? Apocalypto.
Apocalypto.
A little bit of,
But
Who's got more apocalypto?
dignified.
Daniel
but
or
growing
me?
up, I was always called
I don't know.
Hispanic. I was always, you're
Yeah.
Colombian. And then, so when we started, I used to play soccer growing up, and then we'd play the white boys in Tampa, northern Florida, and then they'd call me a Mexican.
Right.
So now I'm a Mexican. I'm not Colombian now. And I used to get offended by that, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
But then when I got into college, I met like Central and Southern Americans that called me white. They're like, oh no, you're white, dude.
Oh, really?
And I was like, I'm not white. I'm not white.
Look at him.
And then when I got to LA, people started calling me Middle Eastern.
Oh. And then
Try to be all
And Jewish people call me Israeli. They've called me
He's ambiguous.
Iraqi, Persian.
so you don't know
Like
So I don't know what
what.
the hell. So,
And then coming back to Bond, Jesse just says everybody's Mexican.
Right.
Everybody's Hispanic is
yeah,
Mexican.
Mexican. Yeah.
uniting the Hispanics by telling them they're all Mexican. Nice.
Okay, then my last question about that, because when I'm sitting here, I'm trying to, my brain is trying to comprehend what you're even saying. So it's not boredom, it's like the wheels spinning.
No, I got you.
But so Columbus discovered Colombia first, and then he came to the U.S. and then discovered it.
He's like
he
talking
li-
to Jesse.
We
Columbus
need a map.
never touched the United States.
Right,
Ever.
but the Spaniards made it to Florida. The
He
Spaniards
just
made
discovered
it to
the
Florida.
whole New World. This whole North and South America.
He's discovered
continent.
the route. He
And
discovered
in-
like the route to make it here like safely.
Oh, okay.
He landed in the Caribbean islands.
So why do we have Columbus Day then?
Out of respect, it's just
because
respect to
America
history.
wouldn't exist without that. Because
Because-
Columbus
No.
came,
Well-
and then all the Europeans started coming.
But that's like an
including the
Italian pride
English.
thing.
Like he
The
founded
Columbus
the
Day is an
new
Italian
world.
pride
You know what I
thing.
mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
True.
So he just
Even though
created
he
a
sailed for
route.
Spain.
Like he found the new world, right?
Right.
And so anytime people write Columbus in a city or whatever, they're showing respect to that
Yeah.
reality
But-
of that historical
'Cause
reality.
without him, God knows if and when we would have ever come over here.
The whites.
But so
the
what exactly
Europeans.
that he
Yeah.
did? Well, he just created. He saw the route. Oh,
Right.
there's something over there, type of
Yeah.
thing.
He was trying. This
I
is what
forget,
they
it
say.
was a mistake, right?
Remember, supposedly he was like trying to discover India, and that's why they called Indios.
Yeah, he was trying to go
India,
around the
Indios.
world to go to India.
So when he saw like these brown skinned natives, he's like, oh, we must be in India. But that's like a myth.
Yeah.
So there's like a second theory that's like he called them like people that haven't been touched by like civilization. So they call them like the people in God, in Dios, like people with God, in Dios. So
he just saw that there's something over there,
something new out here.
and he didn't necessarily go there and plant the flag to the United States. It was by
Not
other
the
people.
United States.
He might
that
have just
came
found the
way
route.
later.
He found the route to like the West Indies,
Oh, okay.
and then from there it's like like whichever Spaniard that could afford a ship could go get over there and conquer some land.
Oh,
But
so then who founded the United States and created it?
The English, the Anglos came over here.
Okay,
Bunch of
Pilgrims.
Anglo pilgrims and
By way of that
and-
famous river, no?
and Columbus was just the word of mouth, like, hey, English.
he was like a couple hundred years before them.
Oh, okay.
He started the trend of Europe, of English, Spanish, and Portuguese coming over
French.
here, and French, coming over here
Oh,
to
okay.
like expand and colonize and.
Oh,
stuff.
okay. But he actually founded Colombia.
He didn't even found any country. I don't think.
So
I
why
think he discovered
found
it.
the route.
He
He
discovered
discovered
the
the
area.
route.
Ah, okay.
It's like he was the first one that found the correct route, and then people just followed his route.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they just named it after him out of respect, type of thing. Oh, okay. And then the U.S. was run by the English.
Yeah.
But there was
northern
already
part,
natives.
the northern part of the U.S. Like that's where the Pilgrims landed. But Florida, it's always been like Spanish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's like St. Augustine. It's a city in Florida. And you see, there's like forts from like the 1500s. Spanish
awesome.
forts from the 1500s, and it's like La Florida. It's actually La Florida,
Uh-huh.
which is a reference to like flowers, flor.
Yeah. Huh.
And they were trying to look for the fountain of youth. I don't know. That's a different story.
Interesting.
Hey.
So the English came here and built what they built
The
it up
13
into what thing.
colonies.
Yeah, so they built it. But there were already obviously there was people here, whether it was native or Floridians or whatever, but they weren't doing nothing
Yeah.
that we know
They,
of.
they couldn't defend whatever they were doing.
They were
Right.
fighting amongst each
Yeah,
other.
exactly.
Some of them liked us better than others, and it was a mess. As with everything
Well,
human beings are involved in.
I'm learning with you guys right now. Okay, couple questions before we get into these clips here that I have to share with our guest Daniel and then you guys, the audience. Is how is it? I was wondering how our women can be wicked or crazy, right? And maybe it'd be kind of obvious, but they're able to disguise it to where men will get with them but ignore it.
Is this a kids show?
No, this is PG-13. Yeah.
Yeah, I
This
guess.
is kind of
Rated R.
But
is
you
okay.
could say, like on my show and James' show, we say S, but you could say sex here.
Yeah.
So you can go a little bit.
because you brought up the point of men and what's wrong with men.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're really subject to the woman, right? Like, and like
Yeah.
lust in general. And there's also like this, like something called morning wood.
He went like this.
I saw his eyes go sideways.
It's still the same guys in the room, buddy.
And like, it's a different situation there. Like, I don't know. So some days you just wake up and like.
Is there?
You're like, go
But
down.
is that a sign of that? Like, you still are interested in like getting married, or what is it? What are you
Because
saying?
when you wake up like that and you're not doing the silent prayer or anything, thoughts are just gonna take over. you.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Thoughts. THO.
I'm not praying hard enough? I thought my cardiovascular system was just amazing. What's going on? I thought I just had a good cardiovascular system. God, tell me, Am I messing up here?
But there is more self-control to even when that happens. Like there is more self-control when you're not giving into the temptation to look at stuff, and also you're just staying with awareness. Like that can come and come and go, and it doesn't, and there's no response. There's no giving into the response or temptation.
I get up and pray. But my cardiovascular system is like I wake up, I'm up, but I put those hands together and and deflation, and we're in the silent prayer, and now we are. So I think I know what you mean.
This quickly turned to Nick's show.
The chat, I know, rated R. The chat always promoted like cold showers and stuff, and I don't know if that's.
Heck no.
Yeah.
But like you could be like in your godliness, and then I don't know where this thing hits you.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you don't pray, it'll take over you.
Well, I think that in general, there is the best way, like the cleanest way to go about this kind of stuff is because like it's an unnatural, it's like a natural, unnatural thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But the best way for us to go about it is to be aware, because some of us are going to get married, some may not. But if we are to, that's part of it.
It's important to like stick with that awareness and praying and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because the comfort of being with a gal can lull you to where you just start taking comfort in that rather than comfort in the Lord or just praying or seeking and stuff. Because people just start coasting, and then they just go to sleep spiritually.
I was gonna say that that's another thing most men get wrong nowadays. Like even as a kid growing up, like I wanted a girlfriend so bad.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to get a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And instead of like wanting to I can't wait to have like my own business.
Right.
Or I can't wait to be one with God. Like that should be your first. Be one with God. Like people like, I can't wait to get. I can't wait to get a girl, and she better be fine. Like, but yeah, we it's like out of order. Like the first seek God, then I recommend seeking a business. Yeah, like before you even think about a girl, be right with God, and then have a business, and then.
No, you know what's so crazy too is that like men also stress about, okay, well, I want a woman, but then they stress out about I want to be strong, or I want to be like the man in a relationship, or I want to lead. But then it's like I think men should focus less on trying to lead, even though you should, but trying to lead, and more so on being aware of yourself. Because when you try to lead, what does that look like? You know what I mean? Like
you can't try.
You can't like.
You're either a leader or you're not.
And I don't really see guys trying.
Say again?
And I don't really see guys trying. That's not really a common topic. I don't think it's growing up. Like I only heard men even consider this when I started listening to Jesse and being around Christians, I guess. Yeah. Maybe that's common for you guys. But I mean, I feel like I grew up with Christians too, though. I feel like I grew up with a bunch of Christians. I didn't quite hear really any. Yeah, it's only when I started listening to Jesse and I saw fellas acting nuts and trying to lead.
Now to do it.
And like you said, red pill people, internet people.
Oh yeah.
Now it's like all the rage, at least in the online world. Maybe not here in LA that you see, but there's all that poser-ish, wannabe-ish. Their life is still revolving around women, really.
Yeah.
Talking about trying to lead.
Yeah. How to master the woman.
Red pill alpha.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's horrible.
But I ask all that because there is this man that is forced to fake his death. There's a man that's forced to fake his death so that his wife won't actually kill him. Okay? And that's why I asked, like, how could a woman be crazy or show these signs of being evil or crazy, but yet men still deal with him or ignore it? Well, this man marries a woman and she tries to kill him and he has to fake his death. So this is from Vice on YouTube. Man explains how he met his wife and the red flags that he ignored. Here we go.
My name is Ramon Sosa, and I faked my death because my wife tried to have me killed. I met Lulu back in 2007. She was a mother of 2, divorced, had been in an abusive relationship, and she just moved here for a better life. She caught my eye. She was very beautiful and danced very well. And there was so many red flags in hindsight, but yeah, she was definitely going to, get my attention one way or another. We had a small wedding, and I never forget her mother walking up to me, just whispered in my ear, "Now she's your trouble," and walked away.
Hi guys, my name is Lulu Sosa.
And I'm Ramon Sosa, head coach, boxing.
Welcome to Women's Boxing and Fitness.
This was our gym at the time. She was very helpful. She basically took care of the gym. But then as the relationship went on, and she saw how well we were doing financially, and she was already here legally. She was here on a visitor's visa from Mexico City, and then she became an American citizen after 3 years. I was beginning to think that she didn't need me anymore, that she wanted it all without me. It was going downhill quick. There was no option but to go get a divorce.
Dang.
So what do you guys think about, what do you guys think about that?
Never
Even
trust
her-
a woman with too many jobs, too many.
She was an illegal. She wasn't here. She was illegal. She was divorced before. She already had kids, and then
And she was beautiful.
And yeah, even the mom was like, "She's your problem now." So why do you think?
But you know what's
men
worse
even-
than all that? What's worse than all that is, you ever see? How do I put this? You ever see ego looks bad on a woman? Like, what's worse than everything you just said is when you have a woman who's like, I'm a boxer and I do this and I do this and I do that and I am a community developer and I'm like, that's dangerous,
right?
You know what I mean?
But I don't think that's what I'm saying is that for whatever reason in our culture today, and even like growing up, that was like smiled upon if a woman was successful. I don't know.
Go-getter.
Yeah, like if she was like the independent woman, meaning like if she had all these things going on, like that showed that she was smart and that she was not a dummy or whatever the case is.
That's just what society's pushing on women now. We're pushing for little girls to be leaders.
Yeah.
And all involved like that. Yeah, totally.
But I'm wondering what made him not, because his wife is a killer. How did he miss those signs though?
She's beautiful.
She's beautiful.
Well, also,
and she could dance.
Maybe he has a different culture from us, where he's like a insecure immigrant needing go-getter type of immigrant. He looks like he might be Dominican or something, because his last name is Hispanic, but he's black looking.
Huh.
So I'm thinking that he's one of those guys that needs to succeed in his own. And he's kind of ugly. He's not handsome.
Yeah.
Like she is.
Well, that's funny because for immigrants, it's hard to find like a wife in America. There's like there's like this extra barrier for finding a wife in America if you're an immigrant.
Yeah.
Like my dad experienced that. Like he had to go back to Colombia to find my mom.
But wait, I think she's
from Mexico.
She was the illegal. I don't think he was.
Well, he just put it this way. He's not just.
He was struggling to find a wife. He at that point in life, he still hadn't found a good wife.
Yeah, he's just a
he's an immigrant. To me, it's because apart from being a businessman, immigrant, old,
all those things.
But he definitely needs God. The guy, the woman needs God, obviously.
Yeah. Yikes. Here is some more on that.
It was late that evening. I was already at home, and this young man named Mundo just happened to walk into a conversation that my wife, Lulu at the time, was having out of all people with her daughter in my office about a young man in the gym that has people in Mexico that chops up people for money. And Lulu made the gesture like, maybe we can use them. And Mundo, he said, well, I got the people that can do the job. And that's when Mundo, the next day, he called me, and I thought he was joking because he said, hey, you call me Pops. Hey, Pops, this lady, she wants to kill you. And I said, what are you talking about? He's talking about Lulu. She wants to kill you, And then on top of that, right after that conversation I had with Mundo, I had to go home and see this lady, knowing that she wanted to kill me. Our plan was to get enough information to take to the police. And that's where it all started.
See, that's what I'm wondering is that like you have this woman in your home that her mindset is ready to go that far, and yet how do you not? Why does it take Mundo to come tell you that your wife wants to kill you? Like what's you know what I mean? Like it shouldn't take that much to you to know something's fishy with this person. You know what I mean? That's my question. I'm wondering like how did he not even in the fallen stage you can get? How do you not recognize a killer? So
I don't know. That's crazy.
Well, they look like normal people.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's the thing. They have the face of a normal person.
Well, that's the thing. I'm wondering.
They look like people.
But they are normal people, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to get at. They're like everybody.
But is it a disguise that she is wearing to where she's blending in with the norms, or he's just blind?
That would not. I would catch that. A Latin woman with too much going on. That wouldn't work on me.
Right.
Previously
I'd catch that right away.
But see, we know these things. There's no way before I came to Bond,
even before Bond,
that I would have thought these things, all these things were this much of a red flag.
He knew that something was wrong because he was going to divorce her, right?
Oh yeah,
She's like, oh, she doesn't need me anymore because now she has her citizenship.
Yeah.
And so it was like a using each other relationship the whole time. But he made the mistake of marrying her, which you don't marry somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have any reservations, you don't marry a person because then the stakes are so much higher.
Yeah.
You can lose a lot.
He might have married her for the papers, so she could get her papers.
Yeah, it could have been a part of it. Could have been
to help her?
Yeah, to help her get the papers.
So out of the goodness of his heart, he married her to help her.
Could have been that.
No, suffer. Get what you
say,
Ramon.
Nah.
Sorry.
Well, here is where he explains how he had to fake his death for police to discover her true intentions.
He's trying to play like a sympathy card too.
I know.
No sympathy for this guy.
A good
It's
point.
important that it can't be construed that she just wanted him beat up or she wanted him scared. There needed to be a commitment and there needed to be a trade of some sort of monetary value that would conclude with Mr. Sosa being killed.
And then Lulu, out of all things, she said, well, I don't have all the money right now, but when he dies, I can give you the money. He had the life insurance. She already knew how much I was worth after I died. Out of all things, she gave him watches and wedding ring bands and bracelets, my own jewelry as a down payment for my own murder. All I could hear was the clicking of the 35 millimeter. And this is my gravesite in the middle of a dump yard.
That's him faking it death.
Middle of nowhere over here.
We have the photos, we have the initial agreement. All we need now is the reaction.
Pues, de guapa.
This is her.
She paid him the rest of the money.
Tengo 1000.
And I get upset about how Lulu reacted when the officer showed her the picture of me dead.
No se levanta ya.
She started laughing and raising her hands, and I tell people, like, she hit the lotto. This is her big shot. After I've seen the video hundreds of times, it's just still difficult for me to see because he brings back so many bad memories.
Naturally, he was heartbroken, but I think deep down he was hoping that she would not take it this far.
At the hearing when she was sentenced, it was a packed courthouse, a lot of media were there, and I forgave her. It was just a release of all that pressure, and I walked away. And she never looked at me once. The reason I'm sitting here talking to you is because of the decision that Mundo took. And I will forever be in debt to Mundo for saving my life.
Bros before hoes,
Shout
baby.
out Mundo. Shout out Mundo.
It sounded like Mundo if it was somebody else, though. If it wasn't this guy, it would not be bros.
Right,
It would
because
be,
Mundo knew a guy
Apparently
that was
Mundo-
chopping up people.
Yo, FBI. What do you know about Mundo? What the?
Good point.
It's funny. But yeah,
But
so
thanks, Mundo.
shout out Mundo for one. But secondly, oh, go ahead.
That's
Go ahead.
interesting, though. That it's kind of entrapment because you kind of have to trick her into doing this fake thing.
Yeah.
When you're leading her all along, you halfway kind of have to encourage her to be, hey, you want to do this? Let's do this.
When you were mentioning the story, I thought you were gonna bring up another story that recently happened of some guy, a married man. He had
I know, I saw that.
Like four kids. He faked his death to go like live in Europe with like his girlfriend.
Another one.
There's
There's actually a lot of stories. There's a lot of common stories for.
I was rooting for him. I was just like, they couldn't let him have his chance at happiness. They had to find him
his new start.
But that was a mess because
agree.
They were searching for him in the pond and stuff. Not the pond,
No,
whatever that body of water was.
Yeah.
And so the guy wasted all that time for him, and he
That's
he
so
was
much.
just
It's
chasing
too
a
much.
chick.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like the mind, like you're crazy too. Like at that point, you know what I mean? Like this guy, like to me, it seems just as crazy to not recognize what's going on in your home, but let's just say he did recognize, but to not do anything about it. Like there's something wrong with you too. And like you said, like it does seem like it's also kind of painted like a victim thing, but it's like, come on, man, this is what she was in your home, you married her, she came from all these different places, she had all these different things going on, and yet she was willing to murder you, and that's a surprise.
Well, what is it that he recognized? Do you think, like?
Mundo.
Like seeing a wide... No, before that, Joel saying, isn't there something you should have recognized beforehand? But what is it that he's going to recognize? Like wide eyes and like her writing that I'm going to kill. Like the most you can recognize is just hunches. And the same hunches he probably felt about her are the same hunches that you felt about your last girl, that anybody feels about each other.
Right.
And you never think that person's going to kill me.
Right.
You just think...
You don't ever think it's going to be that far.
Man,
That's
I
true.
don't know what it is.
That's true. But there are enough, it seems like there's enough hunches that you would see and you would deal with.
You hope so, but you never know. I think you don't necessarily know, especially if you're at all blind, then somebody steps out and a bus hits them. You know, if they're not paying attention.
Right. I was about to say that. Like, I feel like it's your responsibility to live. Like, if you die, it's your fault.
Yeah. That's hardcore.
If you get murdered,
that's true Colombian spirit.
If you get murdered, it's your fault. Like, if you get murdered, you weren't prepared to defend yourself.
Yeah. Or like aware enough to. I get that.
No, it's true. I agree. It's like you have hunches, and those you can't know that someone's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
You can't know that, but you should just know those hunches. What I'm trying to say is that the hunches you get are really not all that different from most people. So,
but
I'm trying to bring down the threshold of these hunches you have with people and what constitutes a murderer. It's like most people, the hunches you have they're all murderers.
Yeah,
in a sense,
that's
or
true.
Could be.
That's true. You probably do.
And so you
I guess you can't really
times.
know. That's a good point. I guess you can't really know if this person is a murderer living in it, but there are hunches that do come as warnings, right? And if you ignore them enough, it can. Thank God for Mundo, because there's no Mundo, he's done, right? So how many hunches were ignored? And at that point, if all those hunches are ignored, something's wrong with you. You know what I mean? So that's the. I don't know. I just thought this was so.
But if things went just a little bit different, he'd be the killer. And she'd be the one saying, "I can't believe she was going to kill me," or she'd be dead because he went through with it.
So you think
the situation was just a little different, huh?
You think he's just as capable?
Absolutely. You know what? He's just as crazy to get with somebody.
Yeah.
That, I mean, I keep bringing it back to, but it would be too much for me. A Latin woman with way too much going on, that would not work with me. Be like, you put yourself in a dangerous situation.
But I do like the idea of you saying that it could happen to anybody, because no one's really safe from this stuff other than you just doing your best to be aware and stuff. But anybody trying to say like, what's wrong with him? I would never do that. It's kind of a dangerous game to play, because you don't really know what you would do or how you would be caught up in that stuff.
Like the saying goes, you dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
It could be a literal bullet, or it could be just a miserable marriage.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're both miserable. Yeah. And you're both inwardly murdering each other.
Wait, but what if you're born again?
Well, you just open up a can of worms.
Like,
what's born again?
But what's great, what's good about that is there's a proper way to like go about like, you know, marriage and stuff and family. And that, to me, it can't work unless you are born again. You can see, because though you still are subject to the same like fleshly desires as someone who's not born again, like you're still after the woman, you still want the thing.
What's born again?
But born again allows you at least to be able to see what's going on. Yeah. And I feel like seeing is the proper way to get married, at least until you have all your babies and all that stuff. So
what's crazy is that you think about getting into a relationship and the love that you think you have, and they're doing that simpy, doing the business together. We're women's kickboxing,
right?
You know?
Welcome to Women's Boxing and Fitness.
Doing the little commercial together, to where she's tried to kill him now. That's like that.
That might have been the red flag that she's like a woman fighter.
Yeah.
But it all starts like that.
But that's so like, I can relate to that. Yeah. You go from this fake love to she tried to kill you, and now she won't even look at you in court. You're in court and you like had to work with the police. So that's
it all started somewhere. Yeah, it all started somewhere. Yeah.
It always boggled my mind, even as a kid, to see people thinking that they loved each other, and then they end up hating each other.
Doing it.
They never loved each other as a thing.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing about the born again thing is at least you're starting to wake up and see what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I think that it's helpful to even be that how good awareness is, because doesn't mean you can necessarily do something about it. Like, oh, I'm gonna break up with her now, even though I really like her. Doesn't mean you're gonna break up.
Yeah.
But at least in your mind, you know, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
You don't be alone with her.
But you can't help it.
You don't turn
and
your back.
Eventually, you can't help it. But eventually,
this is crazy. This is crazy.
Eventually, because you have those warnings in your mind, something changes, right? So you can.
She'll dump you.
Right, more something. Like, you'll recognize that last
more like
the last
something will happen accidentally
before you get hitmaned, or something. I don't know.
More like something happens accidentally.
Yeah,
but I don't know if that's. You're saying we should be like that?
I'm saying that awareness, being born again, and awareness is what helps you prevent from being in these situations, to almost being killed. You may do silly stuff and still be like crazy here and there, but you would avoid a lot of this stuff if you can see what you're getting into. And a lot of people don't see. That's the problem.
Well, almost being killed is better than being killed.
Right.
So he's protected too. Like, I feel like there's some people are just. Jesus had this story where, do you think these people where the tower fell down on them were more guilty than you guys who didn't get the tower fall down on?
Right.
No. But unless you repent, the same thing's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
So I think that that's these people serve as lessons to us. But
I see.
But it's not that we're better than them.
Right.
Yeah, when I say this Latin woman, this Latin woman wouldn't work on me, it's this specific one wouldn't work, because I just know that too much. But it's weird how you can have awareness and you'll just do wrong anyways, like you were saying earlier. It's like, didn't they say the demons in the Bible, even they knew God exists?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you have awareness, or not the awareness you're talking about, but it doesn't matter if you know what's going on, so to speak. It doesn't change.
But I feel like the awareness though is the safety is a little bit of it really is the safety net to avoid getting in these situations.
If you heed that.
If you pay attention.
Those warnings, those inklings.
Wait, but James, you said when you were growing up, you didn't know, like you were dumbfounded or whatever. You said that when people said that they love each other, and they ended up hating each other.
Yeah, not that they said it, but that they were so into.
But they said they probably did say it.
Yeah,
they probably did say it, and they probably believed it, or they.
Yeah.
So like the idea of love, it's wrong in society. Period. And then there's also this thing called like unconditional love. You guys have heard of unconditional love?
Yeah, they pretend like that's what they have, and that's what God has, and that's what mothers have.
God, it might be only for God, but anyone else, conditions are.
Yeah, typically.
Interesting. You ever seen unconditional love?
No, even from my mom.
Yeah.
I was expecting unconditional love from my mom, but I didn't get it from her. And my ex-girlfriend that told me she loved me. I was expecting unconditional love.
Yeah.
But it's only from God. But then that word love, it's just been
Tossed around.
perverted or whatever.
If I'm married and my wife says something or whatever, or the situation comes up and we're about to fight, but my awareness catches that I'm about to overreact to something she says, then maybe it can prevent me from even saying anything. And in that moment, you just avoided mess. So I think the awareness is what I mean. Because if you don't have the awareness, then your wife is gonna hire a hitman. You're done.
If someone were to hear this today and like actually wake up, like let God add the wife unto you.
Yeah. That's
Beautiful. That makes sense.
That's
Make it
the
sense.
I mean, good luck with that, but that's what you should do.
So anyway, we got to end soon, but I do want to throw in this last thing. There's these ladies on you guys know The View. Everybody knows The View at this point.
The cackling hens.
Yeah. There's the ladies on The View. They discuss whether or not, because obviously Trump just got elected. People know that Trump got elected. And there's a lot of people on the left, Democrats or liberals, that like don't like that at all. Like they're overreacting. We got the 4B movement. Girls are like stopping sleeping with men to punish men. They're like shaving their hair or something like that. So we have that. And then we also have women, I guess, trying to avoid talking to men or any people who have voted for Trump because it's a risk to their livelihood. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying too. So a woman went on The View and discusses whether or not they should be around the family on Thanksgiving, those family members who voted for Trump. Here we go.
There is a push, I think just a societal norm that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not. So if you are going to a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who you know have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood, and it's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them why, to say, I have a problem with the way that you voted because it went against my very livelihood and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. I need to take some space for me.
I've been around people who have different politics than me, and it's never gotten in the way of having friendships with them. I wouldn't have had I wouldn't have had any friends.
I wouldn't have had any holidays if I had to only pick the ones where everyone agreed with me.
I'm going to disagree. I completely understand her point because I really do feel that this candidate, President-elect Trump, is just a different type of candidate. It's more of a moral issue for me. You along with Millie and along with John Kelly warned us about how deeply flawed he was as a candidate. And so I think when people feel that someone voted not only against their families, but against them and against people that they loved, I think it's okay to take a beat.
What do you guys think about that? What the?
Backwards morals.
Yeah.
These women worrying their pretty little heads. That was a Yale University child psychiatrist.
Which one?
That woman on MSNBC with Joy Reid.
Makes sense now.
Calhoun, that Dr. Amanda Calhoun. I mean, I was just kind of reading what they said that she was taking care of yourself.
Those people don't care about
traumatizer.
Those people don't care about you. They don't want the best. They just want you to they just want division. They want chaos
in the name of unity and all that stuff. Yeah.
I don't know how that would be. You don't find anything. But do you guys have any recommendations for like a Trump supporter that has to go deal with liberals for Thanksgiving?
Why?
If you know they're gonna act like this, don't go. I don't even.
Don't go.
Yeah, don't go.
Dude.
Especially if they're gonna act like this.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I just wouldn't go. If my family members, luckily.
I realize your question now. Sorry.
If my family members behaved this way and I knew that they were gonna look at me a certain way because of who I voted, they would have been already excommunicated. They would have been out of my life. I don't have time to. Unless if they're gonna play nice, like I have family members who play nice, and I'll go play nice with them and stuff like that. But if they're gonna intentionally try to be a certain way, or like I gotta stay distant from you, you're not doing me any favors by hanging out with me. I don't have to be here.
Yeah, these people are doing you a favor by cutting you off.
Right,
really.
Right.
Fine, nice.
That might be extreme.
Yeah.
But like, cause my mom is a liberal. Like she voted for
Yeah.
Kamala, and and I hadn't like brought it up. I didn't bring
Yeah.
up the fact that Trump won.
Yeah.
And she tried to like throw a dig at me like, oh, how do you feel? Like she's just trying to like she was being a sore loser.
But does she but outside, is that does she look at you in that way, like as this Trump supporting evil person?
No, we had a perfectly fine,
nice.
we had a perfectly fine conversation, but
Yeah.
then something like, she was doing something like kind of like,
Oh.
she's like, but your president knows about, he knows all these loopholes.
Yeah.
Don't judge me, judge your president.
Yeah.
I was like, here we go. I was like, here we go. But I just realized that she was being a sore loser. And if you're dealing with sore losers, I just recommend don't be a sore winner. I mean, you could always be a sore loser, rub it in their face. Like if you want to rub it in their face, if you want to be that person, go for it. But for your mom or something, just don't be a sore winner. Like Trump won. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna get out of? What are you gonna get out of rubbing it in their face if they're?
See, that's a little bit
deported,
different.
Mom.
Yeah, I know. That's a little bit of a different example.
Nah, she's a citizen, but
that's a little bit of a different example though, because her relationship with you is not based on there's not this wall of, I don't know. There's this wall of he's a Trump supporter, so he's evil, right? Because then if that's the case, then
there's no hope.
Yeah, there would be no reason to be these ladies are saying that that's a Trump supporter and they attack my livelihood and I need to stay away from them.
I was taking in his question, and I was also just pondering how these people are. Don't hold it against them. Whatever they want to do, then just follow their lead, basically.
Yeah.
Because their lead is, yes, let's hang out, or no, let's don't hang out.
Yeah, let it be. Yeah.
Their lead is, I want to fight about this, and you're like, okay, fine, no.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
whatever.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, and then at the end of the day, you guys are there for Thanksgiving, not for politics.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
They want you to. They don't want you to be like the view people, the view chicks.
Yeah.
They don't want you to be there and be like a united family. They want you there and fighting. And
Yeah. See, that's the thing that gets tricky about women who get into politics like this, because they identify with it so much that they don't know how to separate themselves from it. They think because you voted for Trump, and whatever the idea they have about Trump, you are now one of them. You know what I mean?
Men do that as well.
Men do that as well, but it's
it's off the deep end for these women, for these black women in particular, the worst voters per capita.
Yeah.
And they worry their pretty little heads about stuff that they don't even need to be concerned about. But, and it is their religion. Politics is their religion. They don't believe in God, they believe in this.
Yeah.
And so she's talking about morality. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Nobody.
But that's true. Go ahead.
Nobody on that table. Nobody on that table really had any clue what they were talking about, because the ranges of the discussion were either you're excommunicating someone because they voted wrong, or I don't have any problem. I have friends. I have all sorts of friends from all different kinds of ideologies, and we're the best of friends or whatever.
Yeah.
If that's your range of conversation, that they have no idea, because even those, you're talking about two shallow positions.
Yeah.
Either you're shallow where that matters so much, and you're like, I'm going to excommunicate someone. Like, who are you? Or you think you're friends. You think you're actually friends and family with these people you call conservative. And we voted the same, or all that.
It's a dirty game all the way around.
In the olden days, we used to blacklist the communists.
Yeah.
And now the communists are blacklisting the conservatives.
And are you saying the conservatives are helpless to it, or they're subject to it?
Kind of like we don't have a choice but to live and bear up under this oppressive liberal culture.
Yeah. I can see that.
But I have heard that survey that said that conservatives are more able to get along with the liberals than liberals with conservatives. Almost all my friends are liberals, and so I have no choice but to want to be friends with these liberals.
Yeah.
Who else am I going to have? But then they have no problem cutting me off.
Interesting.
Because I'm just one person.
Interesting.
So we're like
outnumbered by the.
Yeah. So there's that going on too. That's that weakness of the men and
and
the
influence. Interesting. Yeah.
That neediness for that fake love.
You guys have
It's just like getting with the woman who's going to kill you.
Friends are overrated.
It's just like the simp. what's his name again? Sosa.
Ramon.
Ramon. Sosa getting with the woman who ends up trying to kill him.
That's interesting. Yeah.
You guys still have friends? How old are you guys? grow up.
Hake it.
That's interesting. I didn't realize the need for fellowship runs that deep. Of like, even if you really pay attention, you'll notice that even the desire to have friends is like a thing.
Yeah, that attachment, especially if you have old friends.
Yeah.
And you guys have stuck through all that time.
Yeah.
And then for it to die over a dumb thing like politics that has nothing to do with the real friendship.
Anything, that's
which is not a real friendship, but
Or is that a real sorry, is that a real friendship, or are friends overrated? Like,
they are overrated, but it's like a balance, because there's no need to just throw the fake friendship away. Yeah. Because fake friendships are not bad to have.
Yeah, all friendships fake is what I'm guessing.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's like you don't need to burn bridges unnecessarily, because these are people that you could use in life.
Yeah. No, I mean you can still have like a genuine, like, I don't know, connection with a person, but yet you guys don't agree. Yeah. And that's okay to have that little.
And you don't need to push it. You don't need to push that.
Yeah, you don't have to and call it fake and be like, oh, well, that's my fake friend, so let me cut off my fake friends type of thing. If you guys connect in a silly way, like I like
Friends of the Matrix. Yeah. Friends of the Matrix. You guys gotta get out of the Matrix. Friends of the Matrix. It's like when you realize everyone has like predetermined responses. You just listen to conversations. People just say that you know exactly what they're gonna say. And so you now go into, you come out of the Matrix and everybody's your friend. It's really an interesting thing. You say random things to people. I'll go up to the gas station Mexicans. I'll be like, you guys think that dog has a soul? And then their brains, like, they go somewhere else. Like I'm conscious all of a sudden. Like, now you're having fun with life.
Nick's good. Nick's a really friendly guy. I don't know if he can make friends with almost anybody.
Yeah.
I agree.
No, because I've been let down by friends in the past. Yeah. So I don't even know what friends really mean nowadays. And I've probably let them down. I've probably let them down too. So nowadays I don't even know what a friend really is. So
a friend is a fiend.
You can't. It's not something someone else can be.
Interesting.
It's only something you could be. Outwardly.
Jesus called his whoever he was talking to friends.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He said, "You before you were servants, now I call you friends." Something like that. But he knew that people were evil. Yeah. And probably everybody he hung out with.
Judas.
Literally everybody he hung out with was evil. And Judas betrayed him.
Yeah.
And so he probably knew how to do it.
Yeah.
He didn't need them as much as they needed him.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Last question.
Oh.
How are we going to end this?
Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. Hit the button over here. Subscribe over there. Ring the bell over.
I'm not doing all that editing with all this. That's not gonna pop up over there.
Ain't nothing popping up. And the people like, where? Just hit the button. Y'all know what to do. Bye.
But you didn't say to Punchie TV, but I'll put that up. Punchie TV.
I didn't know I was supposed to say that.
You just subscribe to Punchie TV.
Oh.
But that's fine.
But they know they're looking at Punchie TV.
That's fine.
We'll put that in the edit. That little conversation.
Yeah, put that in there.
Nice. We're done. Nick has to go. Thank you, Daniel.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
Nice.
Yeah.